people are already reluctant to get the goalie, even with that clause in the contract.
We waive it. He comes across on a 5-year deal, whatever it is, of what is going to happen over the next couple of weeks, and I'm seriously concerned. Saints fans, interest. I don't know how to start this. This is so weird because like we're off the back of the hype now of the season, and the final series has come along, and it's been nothing but blistering football. So it's been a great distraction from
Distraction or destruction?
distraction. A great distraction from the destruction that will happen at the St Kilda Football Club over the off season, as it looks. So. Again, creating another great distraction and taking pretty much all of our attention was the girls on Sunday at Box Hill against the Hawks.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 53?
53 points.
It's tasty. That
Second
is tasty.
highest win, I think they had.
That's exactly right. And I know you were saying before, it's against the two extension teams, but I feel like that kind of gives you your practice matches to really hone in on your skills and your crafts and everything going into the seasons to take it up to the better teams that we've got like this week against Melbourne. So, I think the girls have just, they're putting all their hard work that they've done on the track on the off season onto the field now, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah.
Like the skills, the ball movement, the high scores, it's all there.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
It's very tasty. They're hitting targets, so I'm feeling good about that. I've kind of put.
Yeah, I'm waiting for later in the show.
I've kind of put the men's side to the side.
The kettle's boiling there.
The kettle's boiling, and it's going to boil over. It's like when you forget you've got the lid on the pot, and it starts boiling over when you're making the pasta, and all you can hear is because the water's hitting the flame. That's me at the moment. Just the spitfires. So, anyway. Marshy, how are you?
Oh, yep, lads and listeners. Going well, thanks. You summed it up pretty well there, that the girls, Saints footy's alive and kicking, and, I reckon that's a good way of looking at it. The two expand, like, no disrespect to them, but having our team gone through that expansion phase and sort of been like the whipping girls of the competition. Good practice for the D's this weekend, and it was good down at Box Hill. It was a bit windy, it was a bit cold. A bit sad actually that Hawthorn, they're supposed to be a rich club. They're so poor down there. The second-rate facilities, and I can see why the AFL weren't really that keen to give them a license to begin with, because, I don't know, that was their first game at Box Hill in the competition, and I just compared that to, when we had our launch a few years ago, and I think they probably pulled about maybe 2,000. So, they can slap themselves on the back saying we've got 80,000 members, but, they're a shit club, Hawthorn.
I was like, how's he going to wrap this one up? Just say they're a shit club.
They're a shit club. But, good. Jakey boy?
Yeah, I'm good, boys. I've enjoyed some very good football over the weekend.
Blistering.
That's that took up most of my time, was watching some of these games. I really thought I wasn't going to get much into finals because the Saints aren't there, and I'm like, I don't want to watch other teams just get that success and their fans have fun. And then I watched the Brisbane-Richmond game, which was ridiculous.
That was the best game of the year.
Best game of the year. Collingwood, Geelong was
That was the
amazing.
second best game of the year.
Yeah, and then just seeing the way Sydney played Melbourne, which I had a feeling was going to happen anyway, and the way they got the job done. And then the Dockers come back from 41 down.
Oh, could you?
Don't give up.
That's the third best game of the year.
They all had so many stories, and I just watched it from the perspective of, what can we do? Like, what are the boxes that they're ticking, and then what are the ones that we're not ticking?
Yeah.
And pressure and just general intensity was the main thing in every game.
Skill.
And skill
The
under
targets
pressure.
they're hitting, like Collingwood, the targets that they're hitting from their kids. Like, just leave the Dacos brothers across half back and you'll pretty much win the game from there.
Yeah.
Like, just some of their skills across the ground under high pressure, and then, kind of putting that pressure back on the other team as well, and then still being able to get the turnover and hit a target. Like,
and just doing it for 4 quarters. So I was watching the Geelong-Collingwood game and just thinking to myself, we are so far off the mark, it's not funny. Yeah. And, they were cracking games of footy. They were so good to watch. Yeah. But there's the half-empty part of me. It was just looking at them going, how could... I know we took it up to Sydney in the last game of the year, but finals is a different environment. And even if we had scraped into the finals, we would have got smacked by every team playing, bar maybe Bulldogs.
Yeah. And still, I think we would have been smacked by Bulldogs because we're not coming back the way that Freo did.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they got 41 points up.
They did what they did against us.
Yeah.
When we went.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Except we didn't fight back until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then they did it to us last year as well, and they kept putting the foot on the throat. So.
Carlton would be a bit pissed off watching it, though, thinking, shit, that was our chance to play the Dockers. And stuffed it. But
yeah, it's exactly right. So,
but you said it, you alluded to it at the start. You're furious. I want to know why you're furious.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We're not going to go in an ad break and then get into Joycey's. What could we call it? Joycey's. There's got to be another J word. It's got to be an alliteration. Come on, we're smart people here at St. TV.
My brain, it's just gone. Nothing in there.
I can't think.
I've got nothing. Joycey's.
Yeah, what's some alliteration just with some fireworks?
Yeah. Matt Joyce's mental breakdown. What do you reckon?
Oh, no, you want to just go straight up alliteration.
It's got to be a J word, mate.
We'll put it to the listeners.
Yeah, I'll think on it, but let's get stuck into it. Go, Joycey.
Because I was going to say, if it was something positive, it'd be Joycey's jubilation.
Easy.
Yeah, but...
Jazzy Joycey.
Joycey's jaunty minute. I don't know.
Joycey's juice. Nah.
Yeah, what's an angry word that starts with J?
It's just such a... No wonder no one gets too angry at me.
I've got to Google it. You go.
Okay, we're getting the thesaurus out furiously.
Because you said in the thread that you were furious at this club.
Yeah.
A matter of hours ago. So
a matter of hours ago.
I've got some here from a thesaurus.
Yeah.
Jousting. Joycey's joust.
Joycey's joust. I like that.
Jingoistic. I don't know what that means.
Jingoistic. What are you thesaurusing it for?
What is it?
Jingoistic.
What he said.
What'd you say?
Jingoistic.
Jingoistic, yeah. Jealous? I don't think it's jealous. No. Jumpy
Joycey's
Joyce?
jealous rage.
Yeah.
Jumpy Joyce?
Nah.
And jaundiced? Oh, pet hair remover. What is it?
Pet hair remover.
There you go. We found a glitch in the matrix. There is not like an angry word that starts with J.
Yeah.
Jumpy. I guess you are a bit jumpy, aren't you? You're jumping around. You're jumping around. Anger.
I'm on edge.
Yeah.
Jacked off.
Joycey's jack off.
What? No.
Nah. All right, we've gone too far here.
We've gone way too far.
Get into it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just saying everything that's happening at the club right now, and it's gone from me believing that, there'll be a bit of a turnover and everything like that, but it's gone from me believing that will probably leave us in a similar position next year where I think we'll come out, we'll be tragic, and then we'll start to build. I think that next year, with the amount of players rumoured to not be coming back to the club and particular players that aren't coming back to the club, it stinks to me of a club that we were around the 2000s. The 2000 era. 99 on the back of Tim Watson, we're bottoming out. I feel like next year, one of two things are going to happen. We're either going to completely replenish the St Kilda Football Club over the break, which history tells us has never happened, and we'll finish in the 8, or we're going to finish in the bottom 2.
You reckon this could be a potential off-season rebuild without them actually labelling it a rebuild?
Yeah.
Because
and
they
I
don't
think
have the
that
balls to say that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think they're doing it behind closed doors because they promised us so much with Brett Ratton coming in 2020, and we make the finals in 2020. I just feel like nothing good is going to come of what is going to happen over the next couple of weeks, and I'm seriously concerned about the well-being of this football club as an entirety. I feel like there's been nothing but momentum since coming back to Moorabbin in 2019. And now the place stinks like shit because Marshy's gone to the doorstep after he saw that Longy's been offered $600K a year.
Is that fact,
North
though?
knows.
Do you reckon? Because we know...
I'm trying to get word. I've heard that North are very, very into him.
Yeah.
Whether it's that into him.
Like,
I think that's absurd money.
If he's
honest.
playing, like, for him to sort of attract 600K, he'd be wanting to put together the last round performance, like, on a near weekly basis.
That's a year's worth of that performance.
Yeah.
In my eyes,
Yeah.
not one game.
Yeah, spot on. So...
And if that is the coin, like, fuck, you can't compete with that.
No, you're
really.
going.
And you wouldn't want the club to match that. Like, you wouldn't want the club to try and top that to keep him, would you?
No, I don't know.
Like, we're not even giving...
Oh, as in us?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
No way we're topping that.
No, not paying you.
You'd imagine
600K.
Brad Hill would get what he's getting now at North,
Yeah,
and then Longy would just get, the rest.
yeah. So, I don't know. Just feels like we've lost Ryder, Hill, Longy.
Yeah.
Like,
And then, I think we talked about Nasaya
yeah, potentially wanting to go back
wanting
home.
to go back home.
We're
Hearing
losing our
little-
flair.
Little whispers there, which
Yeah.
ain't good.
And like Eamon, he was all set to join us, so
Yeah.
I'd like to know what's happened there.
Yeah, big spot on.
So,
Rather go to the Hawks
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it looks like Taranto signed a 7-year deal.
with Richmond. And
With
then Hopper,
Richmond.
not to
And then
mention, like,
Hopper's going to
could
go
get
to
both
Richmond.
of them.
Yep, and they're still going to keep Cochin on, which means I think that Cochin's done the right thing and taken a pay cut.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
And
then Tom Mitchell's the other one.
Tom Mitchell, who...
Now, that's a juicy one to talk about.
yeah,
Collingwood apparently are into him, and you kind of wonder why they would be, but...
it's because of Taylor... I was going to say, I don't think Taylor Adams is going to play another game of football, and that's why they're into Tom Mitchell.
I think a third rounder is what I'm hearing from Collingwood,
Yeah,
which would get the job done.
that sounds about right.
So...
Yeah.
Jeez,
Would
but
we-
how much coin would he'd be on a lot of money, though?
is
At
it
Hawthorn, he'd be
Brownlow
on
medalist?
shitloads,
He'd
yeah.
be on
Because he's still got
all
another
of
year
Hawthorn.
to go, doesn't he, on his contract? Tom
I think
Mitchell?
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd still get a fair bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want him?
I don't think so.
Nah.
I'm thinking about it really hard, and I'm like, him at his best is, even then him at his best, I'm like, is that really going to take us to the next level? And I just don't think it does.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Hopper would be great.
Oh, yeah.
Just some fresh ideas in that midfield. We've already got players that do what Tom Mitchell does.
Because the best mid that we've got, I guess, in terms of a trade, a young up-and-coming player, was Jack Steele.
Yeah.
What other mids have we brought in from other clubs that have come in and just been like
You mean
proper jets?
Crouch? You mean?
Well, actually, no. I guess more from like a younger
okay. So
player. But
before
yeah,
that-
Crouch has been good.
So an establishing
Yeah,
sort of...
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So, like-
Steele would be the only one.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
I mean,
that's what you could see like with the Tanner Bruns of the world and Jacob Hoppers, and I don't know. It just seems like every year previous, everyone wanted to come to the Saints, or at least that was what was being put out in the media.
Yeah.
Now, bloody, not even Jack Nunes wants to come to the club.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, look at our 04 and 05, 09, 10, and you look at those midfields. How many of them were from other clubs?
None.
So Lenny Hayes, born and bred Sainer.
I was going to say there was
Nicky
probably...
Dale,
I reckon
Luke Ball.
Powell was the
Powell
only
was
one
the
there.
only one.
Yeah.
And in the grand finals, you might loosely say Farron Ray on a wing came in, but he
Yeah,
was
and
still
then
very
maybe
good.
Schneider occasionally.
Schneider
Yeah.
and Peak.
But the
2010.
core of the
but that's
midfield
it.
was St Kilda built.
That's it. It was from the ground up.
Yeah.
They went through the big losses as kids,
Yeah.
and then they grew up to become one of the best midfields in the comp together.
Yeah.
There's no togetherness.
and I guess we kind of like
Without
nailed
midfield.
drafts. We nailed drafts.
Yeah.
That's what set up that
Yeah.
generation, wasn't it? And
Beveridge.
Yeah.
Just a footballer knowing a good footballer when he saw one.
Yeah,
like,
get him.
Yeah.
Lenny
like,
Hayes taking him.
My grandfather asked him, he was like, what's the best recruit that you've ever done? That you've ever gotten to St Kilda off of your back? And he was like, Lenny Hayes. By far.
What pick was he?
He's
11?
picked 9 or 11. Yeah, 11, I think. Yeah. He was like, yeah, to find him and get him to the club, I think that was the best recruit I've ever made, was getting him
I think we'd all
from
agree.
Canberra. Yeah, and I think we would all agree. I mean, Nick Rewalt was always going to go number 1. Kaczynski was always going to go number 2.
Any outside the top 10 that you get that become players like Lenny Hayes,
Yeah.
you're like, whoever landed them, that's a very good job done.
Oh, very good job done. So, yeah, I just don't know. I've looked at this year's draft,
There's not much, is there?
and I think that's the main reason that I reckon we're going to implode.
And that's the main reason why probably North Melbourne aren't that keen on
Pick one.
pick one, because they're like,
It's Will
there's
Ashcroft.
more value maybe trading up or
Yeah,
getting players for that than getting a young kid again.
yeah. It's Will Ashcroft and Daylight.
That's
and
exactly right. And
He's
he's
going to
Brisbane.
the Lions. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm feeling real flat
There's-
about
I
it.
think
I'm feeling
there's,
real flat about it.
That's it, because you look at the final series on the weekend. You had your Bonts, you had your Petrarcas, and you had your buddy McCartan. Imagine that-
Yankees.
Yeah, like
Hickey was
I don't know.
unbelievable.
I know Petrarca and McCartan cancel each other out, but the fact that not one of them's at our club,
Yeah.
you
And the
know,
one we're rumoured to be looking at, he also had a very, very good game.
who's that?
Jordan.
Jordan De Goey.
Oh yeah,
Geelong.
of course.
2
Yeah.
goals, 26.
So apparently he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Or he's not. Or at least
What's
he's,
that about
he's
his
not,
clause?
He's not coming to us.
He doesn't want to come to us if there's anything in the contract that says that his money's gonna be impacted if he stuffs up.
Oh, he doesn't want
pretty much.
a no party boy clause.
Yeah, he doesn't want that.
Turn it up.
His managers.
No bad
have said that.
behaviour.
His
Oh.
managers.
Yeah, we're going to
Do
bring
you know?
in.
I
Super
genuinely
Nanny.
think that we will waive that to push it to the limit. I really think we're gonna do that to see how far we can take this.
No
Just
way.
because we don't have any other option.
Can we just let's just have a bit of fun with this? Let's say we did.
always have fun.
we do. But like we waive it. He comes across on a 5-year deal, whatever it is, and then just Andrew Lovett's it, and then we have to pay him out for 4 years.
Did I not tell you
The
that?
club would fold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the club
yeah.
would fold. Yeah.
Well, we-
Did I not tell you last week? If he gets signed up to St Kilda, I don't think he'll ever play a game. I said it on
You
the
really
episode
think
last
that?
week.
Because
If that's the clause that he comes across on, yeah, he's going to have a fucking bender over the off saves and see how much he can get away with before coming to a new club. You know, we fucking copped that from Crouch.
yeah,
Crouch got pinged, literally,
Yeah.
with a pinger.
yeah,
And, you know, why does the punishment have to fall upon us?
I know. Yeah,
He missed the first 2-3 games.
it's like Jake Carlisle. when we
Yeah,
got him.
Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle
Missed the
from
first
Essendon.
year
Yeah.
of his contract,
Yeah, and then, of course,
and then got injured every other year. But
injured every other year, but then, videos came out of Carlisle doing drugs. You know,
Does that,
the old
and it
Frosty
doesn't
the
really,
Snowman.
It doesn't really scream like trust to the club. Like, yeah, I'm coming here to change.
but
either.
we do it all the time.
Like, people are already reluctant to get De Goey, even with that clause in the contract. But if his management is saying, I don't want that clause,
They-
that already screams worse.
They
you know?
they come to St Kilda for an early holiday.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to fucking work in September. They're like, yeah, sweet, all right. December through to August, and then
It's such
I'm
a,
done, off to Bali.
such a tough spot that we're in because you want players like him, but we can't find any. Like, we don't have any internally.
because we don't supply ourselves with the opportunity.
Have we missed the last 2 years of probably should have gone to the draft harder? And now that we're seeing that the issue that there's no one in the draft that we're
But
interested in,
I don't think that's as much of an issue as the fact that we've underachieved as a list. Like, the list is better than what we've achieved.
is it better than any of the top 8 teams that played on the weekend? List-wise, on paper?
List-wise, on paper.
It's not better than Sydney. It's not better than...
Oh, I was going to say Sydney and
is it
Geelong are
better
the two
than
best lists.
Fremantle on paper?
Not when you include your
Not that
Brayshaws and
midfield.
Sarongs.
Not that midfield.
Yeah, but we still beat them. You know, and we still beat Geelong during the season
Our
with
forward
that
line's
list.
better than Fremantle's.
Yes, absolutely.
Our back
it
line is just as good.
Well, Fremantle did roll us at home.
Yeah,
Comfortably.
yeah.
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 But it wasn't... On paper, you look at it and you're like, they're very similar. It's just method. It's just output.
It's just this. It's just
Yeah,
your
but
fucking head.
I
It's just
know.
depending on whether you're coming to St Kilda to, you know, learn how to knit so you can get into retirement and have something to do. Or if you're coming to St Kilda to leave a mark. You know, you're going,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm going to come to this club and they're going to get their second fucking premiership. They're not doing that. They're coming to St Kilda to get 800k a year and kick a footy around and try and not get hurt, and off they go.
That does remind me. Did anyone see Craig Mcrae's press conference
Yeah.
and what he said?
Yeah. Pretty.
I wish someone at our club would say shit like that.
Yeah. Crazy.
Did you see what he said?
Yeah, he was saying
About how like they're
no
all
one was
some
on
of the
ground.
boys were on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, we lost the game, but we are not losers.
Yeah,
Get
they
back
don't
up.
have a losing culture.
We're here to win the whole thing, he said.
Yeah.
Like, he actually said it.
Yeah.
What
Oh, for sure.
Coaches don't do that. They're like, week by week, we'll see how we go.
No.
He's like, we're here to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's given that sort of, he's instilling that belief.
Yeah, but he's smart.
And like and you compare that with us at the halfway mark when they chose to release one of the Saints uncuts or whatever it is, and Ratton was addressing the group saying that we're a good team but we're not a great team, sort of thing, sort of chat, and it doesn't inspire greatness.
No, and words like this is where the hard work starts. This is where the hard work begins. It's like, no.
Why not us? Was that a really good tagline for the year?
Why not us is not a good tagline.
Yeah. Like when you think about
this
it now,
is when the hard work begins. Fuck me. If I haven't seen that at every local football club ever, halfway through the season, it's like, this is where the hard work begins. It's like, no. You've done the work in the first half. You got to continue doing the work in the second half. Why change the recipe? Everyone loves the lasagna that you're cooking.
Yeah.
It should have been...
Don't add gorgonzola to it.
Why not us should have been, it's on us.
It's on us, yeah.
That is the fucking tagline for next year, Brett Radden. If you want to use it, give me a call. It's on us. The responsibility, it's on us.
Yeah.
To break this premiership drought, it's on us. It is not on anyone else.
Yeah.
That is what they should be going in with next year.
Yeah.
You like that?
I do, yeah. Because, none of sitting there, hat in the hand, feeling sorry for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
why isn't it us?
Why not us?
Yeah.
Well, because we're shit and we don't work hard enough.
We're shit,
That's
we
why.
don't work hard enough, we don't think hard enough. I was watching, I'm telling you, I watched the second half of the Rewalt podcast on Dylan Friends, and I implore everyone listening to this podcast to go and listen to it if you haven't already, because the things that Nick Rewalt says about football and how it's changed in the past 20 years, mentally, I don't think football's changed in the past 20 years mentally. I think St Kilda's changed in the past 20 years mentally.
Yeah?
I don't think it's the whole comp.
What's the trigger for that change? What is that change?
Not being able to... He was like, I felt really, out of place, from, that 2013 sort of period onwards, because we're getting all these young kids in and we're kind of rebuilding and everything like that, but you had to treat them differently, And he said, I feel like Grant Thomas, for me, is the reason that I can stand here and be so successful, and blokes like Aaron Hamill and Robert Harvey, who are just so serious about getting the best out of themselves. They're not particularly serious people. You can have a conversation about anything with those blokes, but you look at them on the track and you go, fuck, they are serious about what they do. I haven't heard anyone say that about people on the track other than Jack Steele. Sounds like a Lone Ranger, and everyone's picking and choosing whether they want to take on that attitude or not.
I guess, yeah.
You've got to instill it. The coach has to instill that attitude amongst the playing group. And he was like, he drew the line perfectly, he said, between the good and the bad. He said 360 reviews on your game have gone out the window. They just kind of focus on what you're good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't hear any stories of this bloke, he's so intense, Nick Reel, we knew he was so intense. But we don't hear stories about any player that's just their preparation is, they're nuts.
Yeah.
We want nuts. We want people that are so prepared, it's crazy.
You look across all sports.
Yeah.
All sports. You look at Steve Smith for Australia. Fucking nuts. Marnus Labuschagne, nuts about cricket. Just nuts about it. Focusing shadow batting through the corridors of the hotel room every night, trying to work out their hand movements and their stroke play. You wonder why Louis Hamilton was, fucking crazy good at F1.
Yeah.
His preparation.
He lived and breathed it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like anyone at the Saints Football Club lives and breathes to be the best player possible. Nick Rewalt said on the podcast, he said, what's going to define me as a player? Grant Thomas said it to him. He's like, what's going to define you as a player? What's going to make you great? And he was like, well, I'm built differently to every other forward that's coming through right now, like your Jonathan Browns and everyone like that, Brendan Favolas, they're big bodies, they can do one-on-one work and just, really outstrength their opponent. But I think that, one thing that I can have that they can't is work rate and my tank. So I'm going to work on that. So he went home every night after training and every day and wrote out 100 times in third person.
You were saying last week.
Yeah. Nick Riewoldt is the hardest working footballer in the competition.
Yeah.
And that's what he decided on. And he's like, I manifested that into the truth. I put that out there and I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. And then people started to say it. Yeah. Because it started happening, because I instilled that into my mind that I was going to be the hardest working player in the AFL.
It's like life, though. People say, don't act like the way you are in your current job. Don't act, based on your job now. Act the way you want to be, like the job that you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a CEO one day, from now, even if you're a little junior, whatever you are, you start acting that way. You dress and talk that way. And then eventually, you're ready for it. It comes along and you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're not putting in those strides yet on field.
I was going to say, look at Sydney.
Yeah.
Look at the blokes like Chad Warner. He's 21.
But they've already put in the strides.
They're playing how they want to be playing in 5-6 years' time when they're at their peak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like just going back to what you were saying before about the 360 reviews, we have them. We have them once a year. It tends to come after the mid-season or after just a spate of just unacceptable performances that have built up.
Yeah.
So then we go, we're going to have the hard questions, and players are confronted, so they get their annual, sort of direct feedback from players. It should be happening every fucking week.
So you're saying they're copping a barrage instead of small doses.
Well,
they're copping all 4 vaccinations at once.
they're just getting unloaded. But if that was the norm, and I think maybe externally we're led to believe that that's become a bit more of a thing. But I don't know. The fact it just goes back to what Roo was sort of saying that footy has changed, but maybe it's the Saints because we're not on the same page. We don't. I don't know. Maybe we're just disgruntled because the footy's gone and we haven't really got much to focus our energies on. But it just comes back to play like what GT said that there seems to be too many players there happy just being AFL footballers and not wanting to be the best, get the best out of themselves, because Max King, he does the bare minimum at training. We don't allow him to or whatnot. But you look at his counterpart in the AFLW, Kate Shillor, on our Talking Saints SCW potty. We were just having a bit of a chat to her after her sort of 4-goal opening game. And Exie was saying that she puts in at least an hour after training just having shots, working on her forward craft.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the stuff she does away from the club. And this is someone who works full-time at another job, is coming in, and it by the sounds of it, she's putting more time outside of her footy hours into honing her craft than someone who's getting about, $650, $700 a year.
Yeah. And Chris Judd used to say, and I was going to say it was said on the podcast as well, the training programs and what you go through day to day at the club is the bare minimum.
Of course, yeah.
It's the bare minimum.
You got 2 hours of massage.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's pretty fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's the bare minimum. It's about what you're doing outside of football to help you focus more on your football. And
to sort of steer this sort of chat a little bit further into what's happening at the club at the moment, we've announced the external review. We announced that a few weeks ago or whatever it was. It should have happened last year. We had one that was like an internal review, so you had your Lethlands, Bassett reviewing and your Raths. Now this time we've got an external one. We've got Noble coming in, but we've already got Lethland. He's the CEO. That's set in stone. We've got Bassett. He's the president. That's fine. And then like Gallagher, he's the list manager. He's been promoted. We were talking about it last week. Rath's been promoted. All before there's been a fucking review. What's the point of doing an external review? It's actual insanity because the same blokes involved in the review last year are spearheading it.
Yeah.
He's spearheading this external one. So if you want things to actually change, not just appease stakeholders like ourselves, do something meaningful. And you'd rather, break a few eggs now and get a decent tasting omelette for years to come. But we just seem to be protecting egos down at the club.
We are. That's so well said. We are just protecting egos. Brilliant. And I feel like the AFL is having a big say in that, in terms of looking after their boys and getting them jobs, in terms of the wetlands and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know.
Because Nick Walsh, right? I know we were halfway to building a statue at the start of the year.
It was in construction. Yeah.
It was in construction, but all great projects, we just went over budget and we had to scrap it. Mm-hmm. It was like the submarines to the French people, or from the French people deal, scrapped, billions wasted. He's an amateur. I'm sorry, but he's come from a position where he's not. He's not a Darren Burgess, for example. So by me saying he's an amateur, he's relatively new to this caper in a full-time sense. We've got Roughhead, same deal. Well, we don't know what he does, but he's definitely an amateur or, new to the craft. And James Gallagher, he was an accountant before, but he's now spearheading our list management. Yeah. And we're really...
No, that's not saying anything on accountants that they can't do anything else, because the best player on our list currently is to be an accountant.
Was he an accountant?
Absolutely. So, that's it. Yeah. So, all I'm saying is that 3 really high up people, or not maybe not so much Roughhead, but...
They're not established before
they're not established. They're not the cream of the crop out there. And we seem to be taking punts on external people coming good.
Yeah. Well, that's...
in really important positions.
Are we almost moneyballing our coaches like we are the team?
We are.
Yeah. We're moneyballing, aren't we?
Yeah.
Good movie, but I think someone watched it at the club and took it a bit too literally.
And the ultimate thing was that they never won. I think that's the biggest thing to take out of it.
Yeah. They never won the titles. So.
Yeah. So our Moneyball, what it culminated with a 1 finals victory in 2020.
Yeah, that's exactly
that was the end of the movie.
They put our stamp on the decade.
Tools down, boys.
Yeah. So I think that's the key takeout. We're moneyballing the entire structure of the club.
Because we finished the year like blokes are breaking down, like Gresham. That's his 2nd year being injured.
Yep.
That's a big worry. Clark.
Hannah's again.
Yeah, we couldn't get Hannah's up.
So we're just destroying these people. Like, remember how excited we were about Hunter Clark?
Yeah, and now it's like he's a different player.
He's a different bloke.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing the special things that we saw Hunter Clark doing in his first couple of seasons of going, oh, shit, like winning us games against Gold Coast at Metricon.
What about Gresh?
And Gresh.
I don't think I'm not confident we're ever going to get a full year of him ever again.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird that this is suddenly all just hit maybe like a week or 2 after the season.
Yeah. That's right.
It wasn't straight away. It's like it's taken us to see what other clubs are doing, finals.
Well, that's right, because you have, after the season, the bye, so there's no footy.
Yeah.
There's no footy to compare yourselves against. But then when you see the cream of the crop go out there on the weekends and then just realise that it's the realisation of how far off the pace we are.
Yeah. And especially when you have the bottom 4 of that 8 playing like they could be the top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
exactly right.
That is a top 8 teams of the competition.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
And the only team that was probably inconsistent out of all of those games was the Dogs.
Yeah.
Because they started well and couldn't back it up. In. But Freo just chipped away. Every other team that played on the weekend played almost 4 quarters of footy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And I'm going to say it now. Can we please start a petition for the club to consider bringing Blake Acres back home? Because his game was unreal against it.
Yeah.
It was good.
But what's he going to do?
What's he going to do?
Is he going to go back to Blake Acres of old, or?
Oh, well, he seems, I don't know, he's a bit more mature. He's had a cracking year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All I'm saying is that if there's a bidding war for 300 or 350K, if it means just putting those chips in and go 375, come on back, Blake. It was a very popular clubman.
we can undo the...
well, Liam Jones is apparently going back to the Doggies.
The
Trent Crowe.
Danny's back. He's coming back.
Yeah. But I don't know. Desperate times call
Lose
for
Ben Long,
desperate
get
measures.
Blake Acres.
Yeah.
What an off-season that would be.
I loved Akey Blakey.
Joycey's... well, I think we're going to go to junk mail soon.
yeah.
'cause
I was going to
Joycey's...
say, next
he's
thing we'll be
losing it.
fucking contacting Jack Nunes. Jesus. All right, the junk mail. Let's go.
That's a good segment of Jonty Joyce.
Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail. Jakey's junk mail.
This one's from Croaky. He goes, The boys.
The boys.
The boys. Given our team has often been referred to as having a large number of so-called introverts on our list, do you think that getting a player like Jordan De Goey might be what we need to maybe buck the trend a bit, as well as a much-needed X factor through the midfield? Also, would it be worth trying to bring in Grundy along with him? He'd be the perfect replacement for Ryder and is only a year older than Marshall. Thoughts?
Didn't we bring in Dan Hanbury and... Yeah, he was more along the lines of, the Jordan De Goey type, and that did fuck all as well. So, not going to work. You don't want players being under the extroverted influence of Jordan De Goey. I think that would be damaging. But Brodie Grundy, bring him along, please.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he plays a ripper game at centre half forward as well.
Grundy?
Yep,
Okay.
underrated.
No, I still just go back to, I reckon he's a wanker in terms of... He signed that mega deal. He set the dominoes falling when they had that big fire sale. Law left, Will Phillips and, Tom Phillips or whatever his name is.
Who's now been delisted by
He's now been... Yeah, that's it. So I reckon a true leader would have recognised the COVID interruptions and say, you know what, I'll renegotiate my contract now so we can keep this team together.
Yeah.
So I reckon he's not a team first player, and that's why they want to get rid of him.
Interesting.
If he was that valuable, they'd keep him.
Fair.
Yeah. This one's from Tim. With Lenny looking to change our leadership, what are some players you would like to be taken out or put into the leadership group? For me, Dougal Howard is not a leader. He carries on like a baby when his opponent takes a mark on him. Nothing worse as a teammate than to see someone carry on in such a manner. It brings people around him into a negative mindset.
I reckon that's a bit harsh, because Croaky's just sort of talking about the extrovert side of things, and I think Dougal, when he's a competitive beast. He hates being beaten, so he cracks the shits, and he's cracking the shits mostly at himself. But perhaps, if you're on the last line of defence and the midfield's just given up, just countless forward entries for the opposition, then you do have a right to crack the shits at your team. So
not only that, but he's the first bloke to get over to someone if they've done the right thing to help him out.
Yeah.
I remember Josh Battle in the Geelong game where we beat them. He came over the top. He decided to leave his man and judge the ball on its flight trajectory and nailed it out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And Dougal's just patting him on the back, riling him up, saying that's the fucking way to do it. That's team football,
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
It does, and I reckon that's why Doogs is in the leadership group, because he's one of the few players to actually demonstrate that kind of,
Not just in team meetings, but he does it on the field.
He does it on the field. He puts it into practice, and sometimes he's not going to get it right. Nick Rewalt didn't always get it right when he was, perceived to be a bit of a sook, sort of like Richo as well. But
I love that.
Yeah,
Sorry to
me
jump
too.
in, but the amount
Shows
of
you
times
care.
that a kick was shit to Rui, and he would literally just go what the fuck?
Yeah.
Not good enough. He doesn't let you get away with mistakes. That's what we need, some standards.
Absolutely.
We need some standard police on the field.
Yeah, and we don't have any of that in the forward line.
So to flip it, who would you like to see demonstrate some more of the Dougal-like qualities, to sort of go with this question, but who would you like to see a bit more of that sort of obvious leadership from amongst the list?
Tim Membry.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nice guy.
He's too nice on the field, mate. He doesn't point. I don't see him doing any of that.
Yeah.
He's
a bit friendly. Yeah.
And I think a player like Sinks would be really good too, because just based on the year that he's had, he's going to be All-Australian. He's going to be the best and fairest winner.
Yeah.
I think having him kind of drive that a bit more, whether it's in the leadership group or not, it doesn't really matter to me. That's all just a label.
Yeah, exactly.
We want 22 players that are capable of being leaders.
Yeah, we want a symphony.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from Lewis. Hey, boys, love the work, as always.
Thank you, Lewis.
With it seeming like De Goey is going to stay at the Pies, is there any other player who could realistically come to the Saints to help us take us to the next level? Also, with the Tom Mitchell post the other day, does the Godfather have some inside information about him potentially coming to the Saints? Thanks, boys. So, Tom Mitchell, he's just meeting with a bunch of teams. Essendon and us are the two front runners. Supposedly, he's more interested in coming to St Kilda than Essendon out of the teams that he's met.
It's got too many
mids. We've got too many like him anyway.
Yeah.
But we're probably dumb enough to offer him a good contract and get him on board. Also, Hawthorn connection. There's always that with Ruffy and everyone there.
So, yeah.
We'll see. Any other players apart from De Goey that...
Well, the more I think about it, Dunkley. I'd like Dunkley because in comparison to Jordan De Goey, I think the only difference between them is that De Goey averages more goals a game.
Yeah.
I think it's like 1.6 a game to 0.6 a game. So... Dunkley, he wouldn't be the goal-kicking mid that we're looking for, but he's a ball pig, he's influential.
He had 11 tackles in the first half.
He's good.
That's it.
He's very good.
Yeah.
So he's explosive. So he's one that I'd consider.
Yeah.
Or I'd be really happy if he wanted to come. But
the other thing about Dunkley is his skill's not great.
It's not great, but it's not below average.
No,
so,
it's not below average.
You know, and that's fine. Like I suppose we do try and
just make him below average.
Well, that's
his kicking's probably on par with someone like a Brad Crouch.
I
would
correct.
think.
Yeah, correct.
Very similar.
Yeah. So
I'd still love to go for Logie Bear from Freo.
Yeah, definitely.
In Saints colours, although I think Nick Rewalt pissed him off a bit. So.
Oh, but he was a saint growing up. He'd
That's
get
what
over
I mean.
that.
I think he broke his spirit.
That's it. Finally. Yeah. I don't know.
Slim pickings.
But apparently, I think he wants to go to Sydney.
But speaking of Sydney, I want Hayden McLean.
Again, you want us to try again?
Yeah, I want us to go for him again. He's not getting into that lineup anytime soon, especially with Paddy McCartan coming in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Joel and Martley, he can't get a game either.
Yeah.
Hickey's, you know,
Joel Marty might
got
be a
Laddams,
good one.
don't they?
Yeah.
They got Laddams.
And they got Laddams, yeah, of course.
So
I forgot.
he's third or
he's a
fourth
deal.
in line then, McLean.
That's
basically.
right. So he's gettable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Radigalia. I think you put it in there. He's injury prone, but
Joycey doesn't want rats.
Nah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind him.
Nah. If Reece Stanley is getting into the team over Asava Radigalia,
Yeah.
I've never really
Crap.
rated Radigalia, like watching Geelong.
Yeah.
They've always, like, he takes one good contested mark a game and they kind of think it's a coming of age game
could
for
be
him.
anything,
But,
yeah.
but he never turns it into anything.
Yeah. Same with Reece Stanley.
But it's kind of like Reece Stanley, except
Yeah.
they found that he's actually okay in the ruck. And he can kick
But
the ball.
I
He was
think
shit
that,
house
but I
on the
think
weekend.
yeah,
They still won.
Yeah.
but he could fit into our lineup a bit nicer than say because Geelong they've got Hawkins and Cameron. You know, that's the big two figures.
I'd be putting Radigalia at halfback. I wouldn't be putting him in the forward.
Centre half back.
Yeah.
Where Battle is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me doesn't look like a premiership
Or
half-back.
like I think I put
Doesn't
it in
he?
the thread. My dream trade,
does to you?
my dream dream trade. Pick 9 for Georgiades and what's his name, Tom Cleary. Bookends both ends.
Pick 9 based on the quality of the draft. I don't think that's
Yeah, that's
Everyone
it.
pick one.
Yeah.
not even pick 1 will get that done. This one's from Harry. Speaking of potential trades and what we can get, this one's probably not going to happen now because I think Zohar is going to sign a 2-year deal.
Yeah. Let's not talk
probably-
about him anymore.
Well, this guy, Harry, said, what if we gave Long, Hill, and our second rounder to North? Would that tempt them to give us Cam Zohar if he doesn't sign? Because he hasn't signed yet.
Was Long a free agent?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
So Long, Hill, and our second rounder.
Yeah, by the way, thanks for throwing me under the bus.
How good was that?
On Twitter.
Let's look at, actually, speaking of, let's just go back to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't been on Twitter in about 2 years, so...
What was the...
It was like Joycey reckons...
Here, Joycey's mock trade to sink your teeth into. Brad Hill plus pick 9 for Cam Zohar. Is Joycey joking? Wouldn't even be giving pick 9 alone for Zohar. I'd much rather we use pick 9 on a midfielder. It's a hard no. Lay off the pipe, Joyce, man.
Is this mean tweets?
This is mean tweets. Stick to the guitar, Joycey. Turn it up, Joycey.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say,
Stick to the music business, Joyce.
watch us pick the wrong bloke in the draft in the top 10, get rid of Brad Hill, get fuck all for him, get a third or fourth rounder for Brad Hill, get no one with that, and then in 2-3 years' time,
At me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I love the guy that said, "Who the F is Joycey?" and then Joycey pipes in on Twitter.
Oh,
I
yes.
tag him, and then he's like, "Have a listen to the potty, brother. Won't disappoint." So
Yeah, nice.
that guy was get off the
a little bit of
pipe.
knowledge.
Shocking take.
Wait, what was his name?
Yeah,
Yeah, that says
Tick.
that says enough.
Harry Tick.
No, it doesn't matter. That says enough.
Keep this
Who is he?
shit chat for the pub. Has no business being on the internet. Anyway,
Oh,
got a bit of everyone's attention. But yeah,
Copped a bit of hate mail from that.
we'll skip.
I assume they're all Saints supporters.
Yeah, we'll assume that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have fun without Brad Hill next year. So.
Yeah, the scenario that you put forward is so dangerously scary. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's our club.
That's Saints footy, baby.
That's Saints footy.
We'll throw in pick
Happens every
9.
fucking year.
We'll throw in pick 9 for Jordan DeGoey.
These are the blokes that still support it.
It reeks of like Jamie Cripps. I reckon that's what's going to happen with Wanganeen Malera.
Yeah.
Like, it'll just be like Jamie Cripps all over again, and we just wind up with fucking Trent Dennis Lane.
Yeah. All right, this one's from Ben. I think we need to go to the draft rather than the trade table to get improvement, but outside pick 9, we were a bit light on for high-end picks. So this is my question. Are there any quality players coming out of the academy that we can pick up with lower picks like we did with Owens and Winhager?
No.
Is there one?
There's one.
I feel like there's one. But
There's
I can't
Cam
remember his
McKenzie.
name.
He's like pick 9.
He's
not pick 9. He'll go first round.
Yeah.
Well, he's touted to go pick 9, which is our pick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he said
which would
that
be nice.
he lives close to St Kilda and he'd
Yeah.
be keen to play at St Kilda. So
Oh, yeah. So if we're able to nab him in the draft,
that's good.
that's a win. But outside of that, it's
Do you reckon maybe a little bit of a back injury to...
That's it. But like, I don't know. Yeah, in terms of, I don't know why they bother having the academies anymore. If you have to wait until pick 40 to nominate them, I thought 20 was fair.
Yeah.
Because like, you really should. You know, these blokes. If you're going to be going in the first round, then academy or not, they're playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but for pick the Mitch Owens and Windhagers of the world, yeah, I didn't really like that change to the draft because what's the incentive to like then go for outside of top 40 picks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from Anthony. Watching all the finals games this weekend, the goal kicking has been unreal, and it's really making me think how shocking St Kilda is in front of goal. I couldn't think of a single player in our best 22 to take it upon themselves to kick us into finals. I would have backed Paddy, but the Saints retired him. Who would you back?
Saints retired him.
Yeah, that'd throw a spanner in the works, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we know that they retired Rui, so why wouldn't they do Paddy?
Oh!
Yeah.
Bang!
Shots
Bang.
fired. To kick us in there, fucking Jack Sinclair.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him miss a set shot.
Yeah, on his left, on his right, on the run.
Doesn't matter.
From the boundary, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
D-Mac for me.
D-Mac,
Yeah?
yeah. That breath.
And then,
Yeah.
then from 55, like he'd do
wherever.
like a Lenny in the 2010, where it's
yeah.
like there's no way he can get it. Like he's not kicking that distance, and he just puts
That's
every
that's
blood and
easily my
sweat into
favourite
it.
Saints goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Easily.
yeah. Just take a moment to think about it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
nice.
God, that hurts
Yeah.
so much. Christian's asking opinions on Saints saying that they'll cancel their memberships if Jordan DeGoey joins. What are your thoughts, Joycey, on people that say I'm not going to renew my membership because of a player?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Is it
Is that
fair?
fair, Joycey?
You don't put this on Twitter.
Nah, it's just going to be everywhere else.
You know what? It's up to them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've always said you got to put it on the club to convince people otherwise. Have they done enough to convince us otherwise? No.
Even without
Because
JD,
history repeats itself. You know, the only reason that no one gave a fuck about Andrew Lovett back in 2009 was because he was coming into an elite team. You know, but like,
Imagine if we got Lover to like this year. Like,
yeah, that's exactly right. He'd just be another. You know, I say it every week. We're looking for Jesus Christ. You know, we don't need Jesus Christ. We need the 11 disciples. Jesus Christ is the system. We need the 11 people in the list to believe in the system. You know, so...
Well, that's the biggest problem. Is like,
Yeah.
So maybe we have found our Jesus in Lenny Hayes. Hopefully he can change the culture.
But that's
from
what I'm
within.
saying.
Yeah.
We're putting too much on one person.
Again,
It's
yeah.
But Lenny
not
can
one
do
person.
it. Lenny can do it. Because-
Lenny is one of the disciples.
Is culture ever changed by one person in any club?
Grant Thomas came in and
Yeah.
did it.
Same with Ross Lyon as well.
But
Like,
they were the man in charge.
you need a strong figure.
Did Ross
Yeah.
Lyon change culture or did he change standards? 'Cause
He
they're two
changed.
different
I was
things.
going to say it
They're
might have
very
been
different.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's
If
right.
he changed culture after he left, we wouldn't have gone to shit like we did.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah,
So
true.
we lost
I think
standards.
Yeah,
GT
well, yeah,
came
that's a
in,
good
changed
point.
that culture.
Yeah.
Which Nick Grewald talks about in the bloody podcast. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. He opens up on all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
he talks about how Grant Thomas.
You're
came
loving
in.
this podcast.
I'm
don't
loving
give
it.
it too much of a plug, Joyce. You want people to stick around.
Oh no, but they'll get the relayed information. I'm condensing it like that. That
Bill
podcast
Buckley
went.
doesn't need any help. Come on.
No,
get
that's
stuff.
exactly right. He's so nice though. He's so likable.
Get stuff done.
He's like Marshy. But yeah, Grant Thomas comes in, changes the culture. Ross Lyon comes in, refines the list, gets them playing
Just-
an
But he-
immaculate game plan.
And he kind of fucked the cultures though as well, Ross Lyon, in that he
Yeah.
was very set on. He wasn't a list wide manager.
no,
He was-
no.
He had
everybody.
his top 26.
Yeah.
and the rest were like you'll earn yours down the track.
Yes, yeah,
Like-
yeah, correct. He wasn't blooding new kids all the time.
Like
was
we
he?
saw, like Freo had literally this season have just gotten over Ross Lyon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
So that's taken what 3 years?
yeah. So Ross
And
is
we-
there to come in with a list that's kind of set
Yeah,
and give them all a role.
yeah. And it took us 9 years to
Yeah.
get rid of the Ross Lyon, well, not Ross Lyon stench, but just to rebuild the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
And we're still, there's still bloody delays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of
The Monash freeway of football clubs, aren't we?
speaking of GT, Adam's asking, any chance you guys get GT on the potty? Could add great insight on the season.
Oh,
High chance.
Well.
High chance. Now let's talk
Stay
about Saints
tuned.
TV trades and rumours.
No, well, we're in discussions, so stay tuned,
Yeah,
listeners.
yeah.
yeah, something juicy.
Yep, some big news coming. Angus is asking, just generally with us playing footy, we've all played. Obviously,
Yeah.
we've all played different levels and different standards and different skills, and some of us are better than others. Won't name names, but
Yeah. It's all right to be a participant, Jakey boy.
have you got a premiership medal?
Nah.
Oh, that hurts. The best position to play.
Thirds.
Second. Yeah, asterisks. Best position to play.
Or
We've all kind of played similar
best
positions. I'm
positive.
guessing.
Or your favourite position. Where, is it where you're best or
Or
where's
just
your
as the
favourite?
best position to play.
Easily small forward.
You reckon?
Easily. Everyone says it's the hardest position. No
Wing's
way.
the hardest.
Yeah.
Oh, wing sucks.
Yeah, that's where I
Oh,
copped. I had to
God, yeah.
top that position for years.
I remember they chucked me in the seniors on the wing, and I just kept looking over at my dad. And it's been coaching me my whole life. And I go, "What the fuck am I meant to do?"
It's the best position when you're playing against a shit team,
Yes.
and then it's the worst when you're playing a good team.
Yeah.
Because you're like, shit, this guy I'm on is running everywhere, and I have to actually worry about him.
Yes.
But
yeah.
you're playing a shit team, you're like, I'm just going to stay out on this wing, I'm going to get the ball, and I'm going to kick it to our
Yeah.
forwards and roam wherever the hell I want.
Yeah. So wing's the shittest.
Yeah, wing's
Yeah.
the shittest. Small forward's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Because-
full forward.
Full forward's
I played
good.
all my juniors at full
Yeah.
forward, and I love it.
Yeah.
But of course,
The worst is fullback. I spent a lot of time fullback in
was-
juniors.
yeah.
It's fucking
I
awful.
got to tell you, I don't hate any position on the football ground.
The bench.
I hate
count?
I hate getting dragged. I fucking hate getting dragged, even though it's rotations. I just always feel like when I'm running off, whenever someone's like, "Oh, Joycey, come off." Even if it's for my own good because I'm gassed, I just go fuck because I get so frustrated because I'm like, I can still do more.
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't
always-
had my chance yet.
It's always a coincidence when you feel like you've just made like a minor mistake and then the
Yes.
runner comes down. You're like, you seriously bringing me up? And they're like, no, it's just for a rest. I'm like, oh, coincidentally, right after I fucking cost us a goal, mate. Yeah.
It's just rotations.
Yeah, I'm bad like that. Indoor soccer,
Yeah, we're the same.
when,
Fucking hate getting
when there's an
dragged.
option of having 5, like just a full team or having a bench as well in
Yeah.
indoor, I'm like, we'll run it out.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
having a
yeah.
bench.
I don't wanna-
I'm not coming off.
Yeah. It's like in netball when you have to set off for the whole quarter.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah,
that sucks.
no, gross.
Alrighty.
Well, don't they do subs in netball?
Only injury subs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to sit off for the whole quarter.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah.
It is.
So there's always teams that will have one player that plays like a half.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's all they play. Yeah. Yeah.
This one's from Jack. You'll like this one, Marshy.
Oh,
We need the AFLW Saints team to motivate the boys.
yeah, bloody oath.
The song again.
Yeah.
How good was it?
It was fire. It was
Such fire.
Oh, and that, just again on Box Hill for Hawthorn just being such a poor, derelict club, they couldn't even play our song. So,
really?
So they were legit playing off a boombox for us, and then for them they were just like rattling these speakers. And then after the game, they didn't play our song for like pretty much like 10 minutes after the game.
Was it the same person that did it at the Gabba?
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, the
Could have
same
been.
guy.
Oh, that was
He played
funny.
the Richmond
Yeah.
song.
That
And
was
then
so good.
zooms in on Damien Hardwick as the Richmond song's playing.
Yeah, I thought I had like a mini stroke. I'm like, fuck, I swear Brisbane just won that game. But yeah.
Oh, that
But
sucks.
yeah, no, they do. They do need to get into the blokes because we spoke about it last week, I think, that they're just grateful for being there. They embody what Melbourne Storm are all about and just having just pure... You're only there because you love doing what you do.
Yeah.
If you're not, we don't care if you're a rock star, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lastly, this one's from Saint Shez. It's a bit of a long one.
Is that Shay Marie? She always posts on the YouTube videos.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
might be.
Yeah.
Hi Jake, I've had a Sainter premonition that to top off the Saint fan torture, we will see Paddy McCartan and Tom Hickey with premiership medals while we burn with agonising emotional anguish of feeling somewhere a little pleased for two blokes we identified early and embraced, but then let go onto their next, more successful chapter. Chances of this outcome, you reckon? I would say pretty high at the moment. Have we really learnt our lesson on trading or delisting players? Would this be enough to finally overturn the current decision makers, as it appears some fairly gross errors of judgment or short-sightedness have occurred, or is Paddy truly COVID-19 list reduction staff cutting casualty? Is there any possibility of reunions with Jack Nunes and Blake Acres out of contract?
Blake Acres, yes. Noonsy, no.
Blake and Lenny influence might be a little interesting. I did feel he had some shades of a solid player and was sad to see us lose him. Thanks for the updates in the quiet of our season end.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You said if we lose Ben Long, you're going to take a shit at RSEA Park.
Yeah.
If we get Jack Nunes back, I'm saving up every shit that I've got for a week, plus my missos,
Yeah.
plus the dogs,
Don't bring a misso into this.
plus the dogs,
A doggy bag and Tegan's gear.
and
yeah.
I'm chucking it all down the race from the club room. Actually, no, because that'll impact the girls and they haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Where's the... Yeah, okay,
I think there's
Simon
there's
Lethland's
a men's...
Don't put it public. You need an element of surprise.
Have you guys
Joycey.
seen that South Park episode where Eric Cartman gets hired to spread shit around everyone's house? And he hires all the Mexican kids to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he does it with Butters. And he's like, oh, Butters, yeah, I'll take care of you. And he spreads shit around his parents' house. And anyway,
All right, this is...
that's going to be me.
So, yeah, you'd be upset to say the least.
The very least.
Oh, that's too funny.
And that's Jake's junk mail.
Oh, God.
What an end.
Seriously, like, that wasn't a, like, overreaction when Jack Nunes was mentioned about coming to the club and I gagged.
What?
I'd fucking, like, that would go against everything that I've been saying for the past 4 or 5 years.
What message would that send losing Benny Long and getting someone like Yunzi back?
Oh, God. Makes me so sick.
We would be
I'm-
transported back to before Rats was coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, like,
I'd give up.
what we stand for.
I'm paying my membership, but I'm not going to any games or anything. I'm giving up. Like, that'll be it for me. It's like, you know how I said I'd be content after winning, like, the second premiership and I'm shutting up shop and, like, whatever happens for the rest of my life. That's going to be it if Jack Nunes comes back to the St Kilda Football Club.
I think...
Anyway, I hear that he's got a great future in golf, and that I will encourage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marshy, do you have a minute? Because I think we need one.
Yeah, I've got a minute.
A positive one, though?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was really nice for everyone who turned out. We had about maybe 15 of us behind the goals at the women's. Like you would have heard us on the broadcast, coming up with a few, we were vocal all throughout, and I believe we even got a bit of a shout out from the commentators that recognised, the colour and the voice representing Saints over at, poor little Box Hill. Oh God, they're so poor. But yeah, anyway, so I'd like to just extend it out even further that we've, got a real test against the D's this Sunday, 2:10 back at RSEA. So if you haven't been to the women's before, get down. They need your support, and unlike the lads, they actually appreciate it. But yeah, you can find us behind the goals. We've got the big flags. I really sucked at holding the flags. So I tried, but I couldn't do it. I had to get Dermot to help us out. But ultimately, and if you do go to the games, let's just make it a bit of a thing behind our goals. Just really heavy representation, and again. If you haven't been, we average quite a few listeners for this potty. We won't number drop, but we average enough to really get a crew down to RSEA, and I'd like to think that we would get close to 10,000 to it being a sellout, because 2-zip opportunity to go 3-zip. Could you imagine the scenes if we roll Melbourne? We're talking Saints finals. Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, that's right. We're talking finals. But even if we don't beat them, it's a good yardstick. It's a fun day out at the football. So get down there, support the girls, and if you haven't done it before, you'll quickly realise what people like myself and you guys see in the brand. It's just a good thing.
It's just
entertainment.
awesome to be at RSEA.
Exactly.
Get a coffee. You're cheering on the red, white, and black. Great Sunday.
That's right.
That's exactly right. Getting to the grandstand.
That's it. And you'll be
Best
back
viewing.
on Thursday with Nat as well.
Yeah.
To cover all of that.
Yep, that's right. Yep, talking Saints FCW. We're getting Aaron McKinnon on this week, our gun ruck recruit from the Giants. And just quickly, have you boys watched any of the Fearless doco?
Not yet. I've been very tempted.
It's good. It's really good. I'm not usually one for docos, particularly football ones that don't involve the Saints. But
Who was this about?
so it's following from the start of last women's season, Collingwood, Giants, who else is in there? Bulldogs, and Adelaide.
Yeah. Okay.
So just I'm sure like all the other sports docos, I'm not a big one for them, but this one it's different, and really good. It's emotional.
Nice one.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that's my
Well,
memoir.
that's a nice note to wrap
That is a
up
very
on,
nice
isn't it?
note to
Yeah.
end
So
on. We needed
210
that.
Moorabbin,
210 Moorabbin
Linton Street.
Sunday.
Get down Sunday.
You've got a bit of an announcement. We've got a new addition to the Saints TV panel.
Sure, yeah. Well, hopefully tomorrow there'll be a new show dropping on the YouTube channel, which would be great. I really wanted to use this opportunity to focus a bit more on the AFLW because I think the girls deserve it and they probably don't get it elsewhere. So the Saints TVW show will hopefully premiere tomorrow.
Big.
Which will be big. So hopefully, it's really exciting to have a dedicated show outside of just the potty.
Yeah.
That's
To
right.
promote the girls, and hopefully we'll get some interviews during the week or once or twice a week or
And tell us a little. And I reckon you're withholding a bit of juice here,
Sarah
Jake.
is running it. She's the host. I think some people remember her. She was the what's the show?
Hard
called?
Quiz.
Hard Quiz, where she was on there. I think a couple months ago when she won. Her category was obviously St Kilda. She knows a lot about the club. She's very passionate. She loves the AFLW, and she's going to be the new host. So can't wait to see the first episode tomorrow. But
That's huge.
That's awesome.
Stay
That
tuned
is
for
huge.
that.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Finishing on a crescendo. Wow. Love it. Absolutely love
Smiles
it.
around.
Smiles all around. I feel like this show has definitely been a crescendo. It's just started
That's it.
up.
Yeah.
Plane taken off.
And
So
by this, it wasn't like we started on the ground. We were like we dug deep under.
That's it. We came from the basement.
Especially
Yeah.
Jonty Joyce. That when you were digging down.
The Joyce Joustin session.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, boys.
Joycey's jabs.
Joyce's jabs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'd be a shocking boxer. Anyway, time to wrap it up.
Yep.
It's been real.
Knock,
We'll
knock.
be here. Got a bit of a joke.
Oh, here we go.
Did I hear something? Did I hear something coming in from down the corridor?
I think it was.
Is that a ghost?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Oh, and who?